welcome to Xena Warrior Podcast. My name is Vera, and I'm joined, as always, by my two agrarian co-hosts, Katie.
Hello.
And Livy.
Hello. I can't.
Should we be doing this in Southern accent? Oh, that sounds like a weird. I don't even know what that was. Yes, thank you. She did the banjo. Yeah, Jolo really whipped out some banjo tunes in this one.
I like the music in this.
Yeah, it's super fun. In a way, it's even more in your face than the Wagner episodes.
Oh my gosh.
So we're doing Beverly Hillbillies.
Yeah, well, I mean, speaking.
But not even. Some of it is really nice.
It's pretty. Yeah, it has this sort of pastoral, old timey. Yeah.
So you mentioned Wagner, which is where we have been for the last 3 episodes, and they were drama, right? Dramatical.
Very dramatic.
Yes.
They were a dramatic trilogy, and as we've discussed in Greek drama, if you have a dramatic trilogy, you need a 4th one.
Which is this.
Which is the Seder play. You always got to have a shenanigans tacked onto it somewhere.
So today we will be talking about a comedy.
Ha ha ha.
Oh, that makes it seem sarcastic.
No, it is, in my opinion, maybe one of the best.
Yeah, it's funny.
It is very good. It's a very good time. Because it's a, farmy type of episode, we decided to finally crack open our bottle of Jefferson's small batch bourbon. Very small batch.
From Kentucky.
So
it feels on theme.
Yeah, it was on theme. This was gifted to us by our listener, Boo.
Yes.
Thank you, Boo.
Last year's TGIF.
Yes.
Convention.
Yes.
We've been saving it for season 6.
And here we are.
No, I'm not. Seriously, we have.
Yeah. You will see that photo on social. Yeah. You will also see a photo of us from last year's Z-Night retreat. Because, guys, the theme for last year's Z-Night retreat, big dance was Old Aries Had a Farm. Mm-hmm. And we appropriately dressed as the cows from the barn.
Yeah.
What, they're prominently featured in that one scene.
Yeah, except they don't look anything like our costumes, but it's fine.
We all dressed in cow onesies.
Yeah, and it was pretty amazing.
Yeah, it was lit.
It was lit. This year's Z-Night Retreat theme is a bacchanalia, so that'll be fun.
What onesie would be appropriate for that?
You could make it work. So good luck to you guys participating in that. Well, upcoming is the big episode involving a bacchanalia.
Yeah, we're very close to the bacchanalia.
Yeah. I mean, we've seen some already, but, it's going to be
We had that great one where Eve was dressed for going to the club.
I have a question.
Yes.
Where's Eve?
Yeah, right? Remember? There was an Eve.
Up.
She does come up, and it makes you go, blink. Whoa.
Where is
Eve? That was someone.
That was a person.
Yeah.
Where has she been?
It's weird. It's
certainly not here.
This episode had a lot of kind of kindred spirits vibes for me. And, that one was, we have a baby. That's a great excuse for, settling down.
Living in a house, yeah.
So it is funny that now that they have another excuse for settling down, but there is no Eve. She will not be a part of that domestic situation.
Oh, well. I guess she's not missed.
I guess.
No. I guess.
Yeah. You mean by Xena and Gabrielle?
Yeah. And also by the audience, because I'm pretty sure nobody... Well, it's weird. I forgot. I mean, I, really loved the idea of that character and all that stuff. We already talked about that and everything. And, I can't imagine this season with her as part of it.
Right. That's a big part of why it's hard to miss her, because you're just what would the story have been?
A different story, which I can imagine in my imagination. As is, you really do not miss her because it's no longer a part of it, She was only mentioned and you go, oh, right, Eve. That was a huge thing.
I do think that's one of, the areas for me with the show where I feel like there was a lot of unmined potential,
Yeah, that's a huge one, I mean, she's a real big character.
Yeah.
It's frustrating.
Yeah.
You can tell that in the end, the powers that be just, wanted to move on. That obviously was not for the most part, that was the weakest point for the show, was Eve. I mean, obviously it rallied and was able to use her in some interesting ways.
You're talking about Baby Eve?
Baby Eve and certainly, like, some of adult Eve was not our favorite either.
True, but sometimes she was, when she was like, crazy bitch.
Yeah, Livia was great.
Yeah, like when the Livia bits came out.
I think it's frustrating because I personally don't miss her. Like, I like that we're just kind of past it. Like, it's the past. But at the same time, that is not human behavior to just, like, forget you have an adult daughter out in the world.
I know.
And I mean, she will be back, but not really in a satisfying way.
Sadness and woe.
But I guess it is like the ancient world where it's like you don't see someone for years and that's kind of normal.
Yeah, and your daughters get married off at like 13
That's
and
true.
then they leave your house.
Yeah,
Sure.
Good points all. It's just true to antiquity.
Sure, yeah.
Like the rest
the
of
rest
the
of this episode for sure is true to antiquity.
Exactly.
Why don't we start talking about
On
it?
point.
Go for it.
Okay, 610, Old Aries Had a Farm, the OT3 episode.
That's literally it's like subtitle.
Written by R.J. Stewart and directed by Charles Siebert.
Hey.
Blast from the past, Charles Siebert.
Yes. That's crazy.
Okay, without looking at IMDb, what would you guess is the last episode he directed?
No idea.
Gabrielle's Hope.
Oh.
Oh my god, that's also very weird. That's not what you think he
That
would
actually
be doing.
is not what you think. And I believe he actually was sick for Gabrielle's Hope, and Andrew Merrifield really directed it.
Okay, that makes more sense then,
So
'cause I never
it's his
put
last
those.
credited ep, but I think his previous one would have been even
Wow.
earlier, a second season. So this is like, I mean, he directed
Truly.
a lot of good eps back in the day, but they are some truly nostalgic eps. The Reckoning, Death in Chains,
Oh my goodness.
Ties That Bind, Orphan of War, 10 Little Warlords, A Comedy of Eros, and then Gabrielle's Hope.
Wow.
And then we leap forward to Old Aries Had a Farm.
And he is famously Sisyphus too.
He is
on
famously,
the show.
actually, as he works as an actor, Charles
Yes,
Siebert, and he was
yes.
Sisyphus too.
Yeah.
I think it's interesting that he directed The Reckoning.
Yes,
That's his first
exactly.
episode. It's Aries' first episode as well, so that immediately a lot of nostalgia.
Yeah.
I think in an episode about nostalgia, which is, that's definitely a theme. Xena's experiencing all this nostalgia for her home, and
Right.
like the show itself seems like it's kind of
Yes.
going
that's
through some nostalgia.
exactly what you would be doing in season 6,
Yeah.
knowing that you're ending.
Knowing that
Yes.
you're ending. This is actually the last episode RJ will write before the finale.
Oh my god.
And,
Yeah.
so why not bring in
some little
some
pins
nods
in.
to it?
Oh.
I don't know if they were
Okay.
intentional.
All right.
Intentional or unintentional pins?
Just ignore me.
But yeah, I think it's so appropriate to have Charles Siebert come
Yeah.
back. I think that just goes with the whole vibe of this episode, which is very old school.
Yeah, there's a
Yeah.
lot
Old
of really...
Aries, old school.
Well, we begin with Xena and Gabs entering like a dive tavern.
Excuse you. They don't just enter.
They
They're
bust in?
coming down from upstairs.
Oh, so they've been
They've
living
been
there.
sleeping.
Yeah.
They've been sleeping.
I just
sure.
wanted to
quote
be
unquote
accurate.
sleeping.
For accuracy.
Okay, they're going down to the tavern part of this
Yep. Because they're
establishment.
hungry now.
Yeah, they've worked up an appetite, let's just say, from their
wanted for
sleeping.
accuracy of
Yes.
Well,
reporting.
Gabs is saying she doesn't have an appetite.
No, she's saying
She's saying this place is
she's
gross.
Going to make her lose her appetite.
Yeah,
she
and-
has one that she's about to lose.
Right.
I
And
get
Xena says that sometimes, like, you never know if, like, a dive has, like, amazing chicken wings and stuff
Exactly.
like that. You know, you never know.
Exactly. I
So
love
give it a
that
try.
exchange. So
Yeah, it goes with the one from the Ring Cycle, which was we've had a lot of cute tavern stuff recently.
Yeah. Well, this place has something that we haven't seen in a really long time, you guys.
Goons.
Goons!
Ah, good. See, it's immediately
so
nostalgic.
there, yeah.
You're just like, goons?
Yeah.
Goons fighting? I have a line in my notes that says, Gabrielle's hair, very fluffy.
Yeah.
It's very fluffy and
optimal
long.
length. I love it.
Yeah, this is like pure season 6 length, I
Yeah,
think.
it's great.
Yeah.
So when we last saw her, she had a long wig. Yeah. She has since cut her hair back to where it was, but then slightly overgrown from where it was and fluffier.
Well, that's kind of thing you can do. You have the freedom to do that,
differently.
Yeah, exactly.
I like this for the short length. I like this length.
So Xena sees all these goons and she gets a little suspicious. And she's like, Gabs, stay here by the bar. I'm going to go talk to them.
She's like, what is this? A scumbag convention?
Oh, my God.
Many good ones in this episode.
That was good.
I liked it, but I really wanted it to be a goon convention.
Oh, shit.
Because I have nostalgia for Xena Warrior podcasts.
That's true.
Aww.
Well, they do some kind of plotting a little bit here.
Well, the goons, like, I don't know if this the theme of the episode already begins, but one of the goons has, like, a southern accent. I thought that was a choice.
That is a choice.
We've never heard a goon with a southern accent before on this show, that's for sure. But basically, Xena's like, you guys literally are a convention of goons, because you're goons that I used to beat up, like, singularly, and now you're together. What's going on here? You got some, like, Attila colors. You got some...
Turkestan's boy.
Ahab the lame.
Yes.
Yeah, all sorts of names are coming up.
She puts a pinch on one of them.
Yes, and the rest of them start, of course, fighting. And Gabs is like, ugh, I guess we have to fight now. She was very happy drinking, like, a big beer, like a giant
she's
mug.
just hanging out.
Yeah.
So good.
And you get all these, like, reaction shots of the bartender at one point, kind of, like, just hiding behind the bar.
Yeah. Which, again, to me felt very old school to have the sort of, like, comedy extra. Being like, whoa.
And that's, like, the Charlie Siebert touch of, like, an unnecessary shot of some random...
I hate this Charlie Siebert shade coming from this end of the table.
No, I love this episode.
This is good shit.
It was so good.
And I feel like it's, like, fun and loose, but not Stooges for the most part.
There's literally a Stooge line.
There is a Stooge line, but it is...
Well, actually, it's not a Stooge line.
The fighting isn't.
It's, there's no stooging. It's actually the honeymooners, that line, right?
Oh, you're right. I get them confused.
Yeah. I think it's both.
So different. Oh, okay.
Probably. There's a lot of violence in both those shows.
So after the fight is over, I mean, it's been definitely more than 30 seconds, this fight.
Yeah.
The goon should be dead. But he's
definitely
not.
Be dead. But Xena says something like, well, you still have a few seconds.
He's like, you had seconds to live. Like, 2.
Oh, I should also mention during the fight, Gabs is awesome on the stairs.
Yeah.
Like her throwing the goon. She like almost just like goon bowling. She like throws one goon down the stairs to like hit another goon.
Oh, that seems very stoogey.
But it was like... It wasn't.
was
kind of... The way it was choreographed was actually kind of badass.
And she did this like jump somersault, that like actual Renee. That was good.
Yeah. Renee is just, at this point, like you just are in awe watching her work.
It's a good. So yeah, she gets the goon to talk, and he basically says that the goons have all come together under this guy named Gaskar the Terrible.
They're going to hunt down somebody and split the bounty.
Uh-oh.
Who is it?
Ares, God of War.
Dun dun dun.
Yeah. So they're getting revenge for all the times that he was shitty to them as warlords.
I mean, he has been shitty to them. He's always like recruiting them to like make Xena jealous. Nobody appreciates that.
And it's always a fail.
Is this when it just cuts to him strolling down the road?
Yeah.
That was really funny.
Yeah, it is, yes. And we begin our Aries shirt watch here. Aries shirt watch. He has a shirt.
Okay. All right. Let's keep an eye on that.
Excellent. Yeah, we're going to keep an eye on it. This little like schmo of a dude jumps up in front of him and brandishes his sword, and he's like, I'm going to kill you, I'm going to get you. This guy is Joxer 2.0, like literally.
That's true. Not as opposed to your favorite Virgil, who I guess is not 2.0.
No. He is like Joxer, the fantasy version.
Are you mad at me for mentioning Virgil?
I was going to mention him earlier, but I held back. I don't know why.
Virgil.
Stop saying Virgil at me.
So this is battling Siki.
Yes. So it's funny. Did you look up this actor?
No.
It's actually really funny. So this guy is called like Di Henwood, and he's the host of New Zealand's Dancing with the Stars.
Oh.
So that means we got 2 New Zealand hosts on the show already.
Oh. No!
Yeah. He joins Colin Mathura Jeffrey, who previously he played Shakti and hosted New Zealand New Zealand Top Model.
America's Next Top Model.
and Lucy Lawless, who used to host Travel Things.
That's true. You're right. Yeah.
All our favorite New Zealand hosts.
Yeah, but Colin has been sending script pages on Twitter to us.
Oh my God, yes, thank you.
Yeah, I think he's
Colin.
now a friend of the podcast, Colin.
Yeah, thank you. Yes. So, battling Siki?
Yeah.
Yes, that's his name, right. Or as I call him, Siki the Mighty.
He reminds me a bit, again, of early Xena stuff. Remember how everybody, whenever they come across Xena, they're like, I'm going to be the man who killed Xena.
Oh,
yeah, Joxer never... Did he try to do that? Yeah, he did.
Yeah, everybody tried to do that.
That was like his
That's
introduction,
yeah.
right? Or he tried to get Gabs. I forget now.
But still, basically.
And
He was
then
trying to
get
impress
Callisto,
Callisto. Yeah. So yeah, he's kind of doing that with Ares.
Yeah, well, he fails, especially because Xena and Gabs kind of like...
They kind of just sidle up.
Yeah, they surround him
just
like
like, we're in the
bodyguards.
scene.
It's pretty great.
Xena has a line.
Uh-oh.
If you don't want to be known as dead, Siki,
Oh, shit.
you'll be moving on.
That's not one of her best.
It's not. It's not as good as Goon Convention. So Xena and Gabs fill him in on the fact that there's like a price on his head. And they go through a list of all the warlords
More
who
names
are
than
like...
before.
Even more names.
Good
times. Lots of names. Gasgar the Terrible.
That's the leader.
Lombar. The Howl Brothers. Masha. Attila, who we've heard, and the Beast of Turkestan, which, again, a version of that we've heard before. Okay. RJ's just having fun now.
I know, yeah. So they need to put him in witness protection, basically.
Yes, that is exactly what it is.
And that's the plot of this episode.
Yeah, that's it. That is the entire plot. You can all go home now.
We're done here. It's an interesting idea. I feel like they've definitely not had this plot before of like just going full on witness protection.
Yeah, that's for sure not happened.
I mean, it's obviously, like, the vibe is sort of a day in the life, but,
Well, Rob said that he wanted to have an episode where Xena and Gabs do nothing, which, to me, that seemed like a day in the life. Like, it's like a day in their life, and, I mean, they end up doing a lot in that episode, and, I mean, they do a lot here, too.
Yeah, and I feel like the lot that they do is sort of similar. There is a plot with kind of, like, fill-in-the-blank warlord or giant or whatever, and it's kind of there in the background, and everybody understands that that's not, like, the main event.
Right.
That's not what you're here for, but it's there, and you're like, okay, I'm glad you have a reason.
So Ares is kind of down. He's like, oh, cool. I can live my, like, the more life as a king or a priest if the cult is sexy enough.
I like that line. And Kevin Smith delivers that really well.
Yeah.
It made me kind of want the plot about Ares, the sexy cult leader.
I have to say, you guys, he was giving me huge Guys Baltar vibes in this episode because, like...
I was going to bring up Baltar.
Because, yes, a lot. And including Guys Baltar and Battlestar Galactica.
Has been a sexy cult leader.
Yes, exactly.
And a farmer.
Yes, exactly.
Has he been a king? Kind of.
No, but I mean, he was like a tech giant, so, you know, he's like a very rich man who falls low.
Xena did it
Yes. So he's down for this, like, you know, all this king stuff, the sexy priest, etc. But Xena has other plans. He's going to do something that no one would suspect.
Right. Oh,
she leans in very close, so he's feeling it. He's like, oh, what could it be? What could it be? Hit me with it, babe. And she's like, how are you at shoveling? Bleep.
Yeah. This war. She said shit.
She did say shit. You can kind of hear it a little bit.
You can,
well, because it's due to the shbeep.
Yeah,
you know,
they
like,
did the kind of the old
really
school.
Do that anymore, yeah.
I can do it right now on the podcast.
Say it some more, like say shit.
Oh, you're doing some bleeps right now? You're bleeping?
Guys, it costs $30,000 every time you say it on air. Shit.
And so, like, at this time around, it was funny to do something like that on regular television.
Yeah.
Hear it.
Like the X-Files season
The X-Files,
5,
oh my God.
Bad Bloodhead.
That was good.
A classic bleep.
What was it?
Triangle?
What was it?
Did Triangle also have it?
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. I am telling you right now, I got so excited when I heard
ooh, they said a naughty adult word.
Yeah, and then
what's the classic one? I don't know it.
Mulder in Bad Blood when he like stabs the kid, thought he was a vampire, but it was just a kid. But then he's really a vampire. But like you think that he just killed someone.
Oh my god!
Like, oh, please.
I see.
And it goes into the credits.
Quite appropriate. Oh yeah, it's always good to have a swear into the credits.
And then it was like extra weird when you go to see the X-Files movie, Fight the Future,
and they're just swearing all over.
They would be swearing a lot. I feel like Xena would be swearing a lot. Mulder and Scully would be swearing a lot. So.
So Ares is obviously not pleased to go the way of Guy's Baltar. Here we go.
This is when the banjo also comes in.
Exactly.
It's just immediately like
it's farming.
So yeah, he just keeps protesting. He's just like, for a rube, farming's fine, but yada yada yada. I don't do hard work. I'm allergic. Yada yada. I'm allergic.
Me too.
One of the parts that really got me to like legit laugh out loud was it's a Kevin Smith delivery, and Gabs goes, "If we set you up as a farmer, you can come and go as you please." And he just turns to her and screams, "Really?" And it was so fucking funny and unexpected.
Yeah, it was kind of shocking.
It was so good. It was such a great take on that line.
But I love that then he kind of talks himself into it by being like, well, if it's a plantation.
With some slave girls and half a dozen ladies who play flutes.
Woof.
But that was funny because then it's like Xena and Gabs turn to each other and say, just what I was thinking. Flute girls. Well, they are going to set him up on this farm. Like, that's the idea. Okay. And then they're going to leave. Okay. That's Xena's plan.
That's a great plan. Though, I mean, if you break down the plan, it kind of is just like these two women having to do all the work to help this man. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Boo. Leave him to die.
They roll up.
He doesn't. I mean, but he learns. So
he does.
He does learn.
Sort of learns.
Learn from some good women.
And he did save their lives, so they're trying to save his.
Yeah, there's
return.
Really nice exchange later.
Yeah. Like, the one piece of actual continuity. Katie, you actually did have a problem.
I did.
While we were watching it, you were like, is this actually like fit with where we last saw these characters?
Oh, I did.
In Coming Home.
Yeah.
It is slightly odd. Like, they've just kind of had that, I mean, the actual ending of Coming Home is the really beautiful kind of breakup conversation.
Yeah, and that's what made it okay with, like, I feel like the tension with Xena and Ares would be different if she didn't pin that shut, like, in that episode. You know what I mean?
Though, I mean, to be fair,
it's still there.
She uses her wiles on him here.
It's there, but it's also sort of, like, not... Yeah. It's a funny now. Yeah. Like, I feel like he's not bothered by it. Like, you go back even to, like, Motherhood, where he's still, like, raging at her and just in this, like, dark place about not ever being able to win her. And
he's
here
clearly
he's kind of able to
he's ready to move on.
Yeah, to laugh at it. Yeah.
I have hopes for him and Greba McEntire.
Oh, good one.
Yeah, they roll up to Xena's family farm. It's like her grandparents' farm.
Right.
Which is still standing, and that's
unlike her house.
It's kind of absurd. I don't believe this would still be here, but okay.
Was Cyrene taking care of this too before she died?
Do we know? So you think it's Cyrene's parents?
I guess I sort of assumed that they wouldn't have a good relationship with her dad's parents because Cyrene murdered him.
Her dad Ares.
Yeah, her dad Ares.
Remember when Ares was her dad? Wow, good times.
Yeah, that makes sense to me.
She calls this place the Elysian Fields on Earth, and Ares calls it an outhouse.
I mean, it looks like a ruin.
It is. It's in a very bad shape, but Xena wants to do that show where you, like, buy cheap property and flip it later. Fix it all up.
This is the first scene, I think, where the music goes from being sort of like using the banjo for comedy to just kind of doing
serious banjo.
Yeah, sort of like beautiful, maybe like a mandolin. Yeah. I don't know instruments very well, but it just has this like really nice, like kind of, that sense of coming home. So we're kind of already getting the secondary plot about Xena
yeah,
trying to recapture something in her youth.
Yeah.
Right. She says that the place has like sentimental value to her, obviously. And she first runs to this like post up front where she carved her name.
Yes.
The
one
X.
big X.
One big X, because remember, she can't read.
And that's how she signed her letter.
That's how you
the
sign.
Norse trilogy.
That's exactly.
X. Yeah, that's how you spell Xena.
And her grandma used to sit in this rocking chair
And tell stories of the Olympics.
The Olympics?
The Olympics. The Olympian gods.
Sydney Games. That was a trip.
It was a trip.
But yeah, I love this joke about the Olympian gods. Ares comes back at Xena being like, bet you never guessed you'd grow up to kill most of them, huh?
I liked that a lot. Yeah.
That was
like,
kind of vicious.
Well, it is vicious,
Yeah.
but it's also like adds to the essay that you can write about Xena and her revisiting her past. Like, future trauma. Tra-la-la. Sad. Sadness.
They go inside, and Xena says it even smells the way she remembers. I think that's impossible.
That's impossible.
It looks horrible.
It smells horrific in there, I bet.
I thought they
Or the
were
dead
joking
animals.
at this point. They're both so gleeful, Xena and Gabs, like running around being
Yeah.
like, let me show you this, let me show you that. And it looks like such a mess. I mean, I think
Yeah.
you're meant to be with Ares
Yeah,
through these
he's
scenes
really like
where
freaking
you're just
out.
like, help me.
Yeah. He says that he couldn't even fix this dump with his godly powers.
Oh,
which
that's
is, yeah.
That's rough.
But like everything, like a table falls apart in
Yeah.
their hands, like a
But
door falls
it's
off.
like, you know what though? It's like in Mamma Mia 2 when Donna finds the place that becomes the hotel B&B that she makes in Greece, right? But it's like all a mess and the stairs fall apart and all the things. So like you can change it to be
Fixer upper.
yes.
And it'll be perfect.
Yeah, you could sell it for like triple the price.
Yes.
So back in the tavern, Siki the Mighty is like telling the stories about how he killed Ares to these like women, and this is so jockster, it's like insane. But this is Gaska, right?
Yeah. Actual gas.
Actual Gaska, who's really great. I love this
this guy's
actor.
good.
Yeah, he's really good.
He's scary, he's got a good voice.
He's got like a 20 packs a day smoking voice. It's fantastic.
Kind of a 20 packs a day smoking face.
Yes, it goes with it. Yeah. And he has like he's supposed to be like blind in one eye. And there's a part in this episode, I don't really remember where, but he's like so intense that he's like blinking with that one blind eye.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
good.
So he like basically intimidates. He can tell that this guy obviously has not killed Ares, but that he has seen him.
Because he gives him the description of Ares.
Tall, dark, and handsome.
Yeah, and like, with
a vest,
With a
I believe.
vest.
Because as in the Ares shirt watch, it was in fact still on at the
Yes,
time.
exactly.
And also he knows where to find him. So off Gaskar goes.
And that he says that they went somewhere. And so he was like, who? Ares and two women. And then they assume that they're like,
Looking for a place to shack up with them.
Yeah,
which
exactly.
is ironically true.
Yeah, very true. So you get these like tranquil B-roll of this valley.
Flowers. A bee. I'm always like, why is that tranquil? I'm scared now. Oh my god, a bee.
All the bees are here. It's very hot out.
Oh my god. Sweltering.
Because Ares' shirt watch,
It's off.
there is no shirt.
No shirt.
No shirt, Ares.
He lost it. I think the dog took it and they never get it back. They never find that one.
The heat requires everyone to have a wardrobe change. And also,
Everyone.
I mean, the renovations also do, you
Yeah,
know?
you
Yeah,
have
you
to-
can't wear your
If you
breastplate.
renovate your house, you have to put on these
Slinkiest,
outfits.
silly outfit.
I think they're perfect. I love
Very
them.
perfect for the episode. Sure.
Where did they come from? Just from the drawers here? Is her grandma used to wear this?
They have this.
They
I just
have
don't
this.
know.
Oh, this is what they were doing in the upstairs of the tavern.
I mean, to me, they feel like role-playing costumes. They're
Oh, shit.
so ridiculous.
Oh, no.
That I feel like it works for the episode. They are literally playing house. Like, these
Oh,
are
my
roles.
goodness.
They don't feel like actual costumes. Like, this is just...
But privately,
rather
in their
they don't feel
private
like actual
life,
clothes.
Xena and Gabs use this for their role-playing
for
games.
sexy milkmaid role-play sessions.
So Gabs is like, Xena, I want you to put these little barrettes like in your hair, 2 of them.
Yeah, 2 little pink barrettes.
Yes.
Do your braid just so. But yeah, I think it's meant to feel like they're they're pretending and they're having fun.
Yeah.
It's for them. I think that's kind of a difference with like
And
this
it's
particular
for us. It's for the audience.
skimpy costume.
To be like, LOL.
Yeah.
So Aries is very not interested in doing any kind of work. And Xena has to, at one point, literally whip him.
Yeah, just comes out and whips him.
To get him to do something. And he goes, not in the butt.
Right, so he hides these rags because he's afraid they're going to make him, like, wipe a floor with them.
Yeah. But she needed him to, like, stuff them in the walls.
Yeah, it's a little, I was
this
like...
place is a dump.
I know. I was like, really, rags? That's the best you guys are going to do here?
Yeah. When they start noticing that some of their stuff has been disappearing. Like, Gabs' boot is gone.
And then the rags.
The rags are gone. Her saw that she left.
Oh, right.
That's weird.
Spoiler, the dog took the saw?
Yeah, that's weird.
That doesn't seem safe. And then Aries' belt, I believe, also gets taken.
Yeah, a lot of things. We meet Greba McEntire, the neighbor lady.
Oh, yeah. She's my favorite character.
He'd like a whole spin-off about Greba.
Yeah, she's fun.
She lives next door.
She feels a little like a sexy cousin of Minya. This to me feels very, very a day in the life to have this kind of neighbor character who is incorporated into the plot.
She's always coming over with some kind of news to share.
Yeah, she gets all the news. She literally lives next door. The news does not get to Xena and everybody any other way.
Yeah, unless she comes
You need
over.
a nosy neighbor. That feels so much a part of the domestic package.
Very sitcom-y.
She's got a midriff, and
Sure, why not?
Aries has noticed. His first line to her is, hello.
He also does this amazing thing where he like steps toward her, and remember he has no shirt.
No shirt.
So he flexes the pecs.
And they jump.
They jump
Like
and
6
Very
feet.
good.
and they have their own sound effect.
Yeah. Like kind of like a...
Little boing.
Yeah.
Why not?
This episode goes to town with the sound effects
Yeah.
in a way we haven't heard in a while.
In a while.
Yeah.
It's old school.
But none of them bothered me, so that's
No.
good.
No,
Yeah.
it works.
This is why
It
this
works
one
in
is like the
context.
best.
Yeah, it's
because
good.
it is
Well,
just...
and it's also like just got an undercurrent of other good things.
Yeah.
And it's like 3 people that you really like.
Exactly.
and
There's
it's
no
like,
extras. There's hardly anybody
it's
else.
Just, it's just
And
a
the
little
warlord is fun. Yeah.
these people in a house being funny. Yeah, it's good.
It's good.
Is this when we should talk about just the fan serviciness of it? To just do
Naked people
Your-
running around.
your faves in a house is just
Yeah,
like
sure.
such a fanfic
Yeah.
setup.
Such a fanfic.
This
Like,
is
you
why
know,
this
we-
is why this one's a fan
no
fave.
action, just your faves.
Very equal opportunity gays.
If anything,
Yeah.
more on the female side. Like you see so much of Kevin Smith.
Whatever
Depends on your
Whatever
preferences
you
as
care
a
to
female.
look at. It's like,
That's what I mean.
As
It's like
any person
this
looking
episode-
at another person.
Yeah, this episode has everything.
Everything.
Like in the words of Stefan.
Legs.
So speaking
Legs, lots of legs.
Speaking of the female gaze, we get Greba talking about Gasker and his men and what they like to do. This is one of the maybe less great elements of the episode.
I liked it.
How hot and bothered Greba gets explaining about all the raping that is happening in this army.
Defiling a female, defiling her chastity over and over, right?
But of course, whenever you have a female character tell a rape joke, it is more interesting, at least.
Well,
I will throw a coin in for
please
it.
put a coin in.
sure, but it was really funny because of how she said it and also how this episode's very kinky.
Oh, this episode
It
is
is
very
absolutely.
kinky.
So it also kind of reminded me of like a Fabio novel.
Yeah, well, like early romance was
Yeah,
very
like
much
very
like
yeah,
that. Yeah.
and like just setups of pornos.
And it's very problematic.
Right. How she's like, I'm a young widow.
But also just them
Living alone.
them in a farm in a house.
That's
like
true.
that's like a porn.
Yeah,
And you could also describe this episode as a very hot location episode of Outlander
Oh, interesting.
with more female characters than actual Outlander.
Whoa.
like season 4, where they're like in a cabin.
Yeah, and if you have Claire has a girlfriend as well.
Ugh, if only.
If only.
Ugh, why did you do this to me?
Sorry.
Yeah, it's just like, there's a lot of problematic elements to it, but there's also like some more interesting elements about things. It's like that thing where you're like, 50 Shades of Grey is bad, but also people can like it. Like this, like Greba reads it and loves it, and that's 100% fine. You know what I mean? Like that's how I feel about this.
She definitely has a book group where they read 50 Shades of Grey.
Yeah.
Like, because in a lot of that problematicness, this is such a side tangent, comes down to like asshole dudes and what women can and can't like in their literature.
Right.
When it comes to romance and books like that. So it's a whole separate topic.
Right.
We'll go back to old Aries Head of Farm.
Well, Aries is very into what she's saying.
I
like them.
This is the part where
support it.
I supported it. I was into this ship.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah. But she has like her own hilarious, like horrible backstory.
Oh yeah,
that's like she's such a great character.
We'll hear about it later.
Yeah. What is this the part?
This is the part where Xena does the quick change. Her Superman change.
Right, yeah. This is also when Xena and Gabs, like, after Greba comes and starts, like, gabbing all this, like, news and stuff, they're both like, thank you, Greba, like, get out of here. And that becomes a running
So are they
joke.
jealous? They're like, stop getting in the way of our OT3?
Maybe. Who knows? So she says that Gaskar and his armies headed right to this valley.
Dun dun dun.
Yeah, and that's why Xena has to go.
Xena has to go do her Superman phone booth thing.
Yes. She
It's
goes into the house,
funny.
comes
And
out
1 second
dressed
later,
as you hear it, like you hear the changing.
She takes the barrettes out of her hair.
Thank you for that.
Can you imagine if she'd left them?
Oh my god, that would
Have
be
been a good gag.
That would be a really good one.
Meanwhile, you have Gabs still on the porch, and there's the really nice detail that she's playing with the pole.
She's playing with she's kind of like, playing with the little engraving that Xena made.
She's not only doing that, she's also staring at Xena with this like look of pure love.
Yeah.
It is so good.
She makes a lot of cute AF faces in this episode, Gabrielle. I feel like it's also she's like really relaxed.
Yeah.
So she's coming across very just happy.
It's been, I don't know, it's been so long, if ever, that you just have this kind of unnecessary shot, you know, but it's there, and it's, I don't know.
I think part of it is because this plot is A, not much of a plot, and B, it obviously involves Xena and Gabrielle, but they're not kind of the main characters. They've sort of become these background characters in their own story.
Lucy said in an interview, the same interview where she talked about Stephen X. Fajita Roundup, by the way. She said that she called herself a glorified extra in this episode.
I think that's a really good way to put it, because you feel like they're just kind of existing.
Yeah.
Like you see these like cute little looks between them. They're just sort of smiling and hanging out, and you know it's kind of left to Aries to carry the episode. It's his episode, and you know, rather than being like mad about that, you're just kind of like, this is such a gift, because it's so nice to see Xena and Gabs without any of the pressure of like having to do plot stuff like on them.
So she's off to talk to Gaskar, and she tells Gabs and Aries to find the thief. She also says that she'd much rather stay and renovate the house, and Aries is like, I believe you.
I also noticed in this scene that like the front door of the house has an X. Like the beams.
Oh my goodness, that's a little weird.
It's Xena's house.
Okay, it's her grandparents' house. Why are they decorating it?
Maybe they're also named Xena.
It's a family name. Her grandpa was named Xena.
Zeno.
Zeno.
So Gaskar's camp.
Yeah, she rolls in. She's like, oh my god, guys, I'm gonna give you Aries' head on a platter. And we're like, oh no, Xena's betraying Aries.
What?
And if you're Katie, you put a pin in it.
Don't.
What did you do? You actually believed it? What?
No, don't. No, skip. Continue. Act 2. I didn't say anything whatsoever about anything.
She looked very... She was doing a lot of, like, silent smoldering in this scene with Gaskar.
At Gaskar?
Xena.
I don't think she's trying to speak.
It's like how you feel about Tywin Lannister.
I do have those feelings about Tywin Lannister. Thank you very much.
This conversation went off the rails.
It did, but that's only because
this podcast knows about my weird things. Yeah, I really did not.
Xena looked hot in the scene, okay?
Xena, yeah. I allow it.
I didn't like Xena saying head on a platter.
You did not like it?
No.
Why?
Because of later.
Pin in it.
Oh, no.
I just, like, that was, like, one of those things that you privately say on the couch, not in the podcast.
LOL.
It's fine.
Well, Gaskar starts talking about continuity here, and he goes, hey, Xena, if you have the power to kill Gaz, why didn't you just kill Ares when you had the chance? And she's like, well, he's a coward, and he ran away.
But he also points out that, like, it doesn't matter that she has God-killing powers
Yeah,
anymore.
because he's immortal, so any of them could kill him.
But she's like, yeah, but maybe that's just a rumor, and he really is still immortal, in which case you need me as your insurance policy. So it's a very long kind of back-and-forthy conversation that we don't care about.
Plus, she knows where he is.
Yes.
And so Gaskar's like, okay.
This also is just so early stuff when Xena's like, hey, I'm teaming up with warlords. And, like, she can sometimes get away with it because of her bad reputation. Like, it's funny in an episode now, you're just like, what? Why would anybody accept that Xena is, like, okay with hanging out with this, like, apparently, like, really terrible to ladies man?
Right. Do you think this warlord should have been like, or do you think everybody knows that Xena and Gabs have been frozen in ice for like 25 years and are back?
Who the fuck
because
knows anymore?
I feel like every time that they run into somebody, they should be like, Xena, we thought you were dead.
dead.
People aren't questioning it anymore. Like, they did that a couple times, and that was it.
And they were like, all right, well,
forgot.
we've forgotten Eve, so we've also forgotten the time jump.
I guess maybe, like, the news of their return traveled.
So she recognized these guys. Weren't some of them young? Yeah. Like, wouldn't they be babies?
Oh my god, that is well, maybe they've just been out and about in Greece now long enough that they're, like, familiar with the new crowd.
Right, this is the new crowd.
Yeah.
Yes, okay. Okay, not from her days before. Okay, we're good.
Whew.
Okay. So back at the shack, the love shack.
Mm-hmm. It is the love shack.
Gabs and Ares are really cozy by a fire right now.
This is such a nice
We're inside. It's like nighttime, I guess. Ares shirt watch, no shirt.
Gabs is having a drink.
Yeah, it's cozy.
And Gabs has legs.
Yes.
In case you
forgot.
In case you forgot, she too has legs. They're lit by the fire. It's very nice.
Yeah, they are.
They're not on fire. They're lit by the fire.
They're the stars of the scene, I think.
Really going across the frame line.
So if your eyeballs are battling Ares' chest versus Gabs' legs,
the legs are winning.
Choices.
You have choices. Where to look.
Anyway, but also the content of the scene is very emotional and nice. Where
yeah,
she
this is a good.
Him for saving her and Eve, and then he is very Ares-esque about it and was like, blah blah, I did it all for Xena, blah.
You were an afterthought.
I liked that.
And she was like, well, thank you, all the same.
She's like, thank you anyway.
She was making cute faces and very genuine.
Yeah. The thing is, she
adorable.
You know, I have to admit.
Oh my god, the scrunchy nose was extra amazing.
It was really good.
Thanks anyway.
I feel like at this point in the show, I personally feel more emotionally invested in Gabs Ares than Xena Ares. Am I weird and alone in this?
At this point, I'm into Ares Greba. It's my new OTP.
Well, what do you mean, like, just in terms of, like, shipping Ares with someone?
I don't even necessarily mean, like, shipping. I just feel like their dynamic is so good.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like she bothers him now in a way that Xena doesn't.
Right.
And, like, she gets him. So
well,
I really like
what do they have in common?
Yeah,
and
I mean,
also,
Xena
like,
gets him too.
You know, she
Yeah.
won. I don't know if, like,
she
that's not the right
won,
way to put it, but
she
like,
did win.
You know what I mean? Like, that's not the right word to use, but like,
that's what Ares would say.
Yeah, sure, you know,
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they have this great tension that it's really nice to see on screen. I love the way Renee plays this whole dialogue with him, where it's so clear that even she knows he's gonna give a dickish response like that. And
I don't know. I don't think she knew
so.
that. I don't think so. I think she was not expecting that. And I think it was big of her to actually bring it up and say thanks to him.
Yeah,
because
she did not have
he
to.
saved her life.
Yeah.
Big time.
She got brained with a chakra.
Yeah.
Not so long ago. It's crazy.
And he gave up his immortality.
Right. This entire plot is
thing.
happening because of that situation.
So I don't know if she expected like quite such an Ares response from him. But, you know, that's where she's like, thank you anyway.
I also love then when Xena comes back and, is so happy to see that they've cleared the chimney.
Yes.
And I love the dynamic here with Gabs and Aries, where Gabs is like, Aries did all the heavy lifting. And Aries is like, oh, no, no idea it didn't. She's just trying to cover for the fact that, like, she's just as bad at making me do work as you are. And she sort of, like, looks at him and being like, oh, yeah, you get me. It's good.
They're cute, yeah.
Yeah, there's just something about it. I'm
into this OT3, like, in this house.
I agree. I think it's great that they give Aries and Gabs material in addition to Aries and Xena, and obviously Gabs and Xena. So you get all three points in the triangle have connections with each other.
Yeah. So Xena goes down memory lane again. She sits kind of by the fire. She does this amazing thing that I thought was like super cute and emotional, where she puts her chin on the sword hilt.
Yeah, it was such a like little child thing to do.
She kind of like sits by the fire, like cross-legged. It's really cute.
It's really cute.
She, as I said, she goes down memory lane. She talks about how her and her brother.
Yeah, erase that S. She had a lisp in the scene.
Her brother.
It's Lycius and Lycius.
Lycius and my other brother, Lycius.
Yeah. And there's
my
Ghost.
brothers, Lycius and Lycius.
Lycius and, like, his shadow.
Yes, exactly. They sat there by the fire.
She does say brothers, my brothers.
She says it twice, and I hated that.
I admire RJ for going full continuity on us and being like, Xena has two brothers, but we did not need to be reminded of Taurus,
we did not.
Whose name I will only say this once.
Ugh.
And now he
must be dead.
He goes back to non-existence. Well, yeah, it definitely sounds like he's dead from the way she's talking.
Do you think she looked it up?
She says something like, I miss them sometimes. Yeah, I think he's dead.
It's like,
but also he never existed.
He never existed, so it's fine.
I'm just saying.
It's her brother and her imaginary brother.
We'll have to say that she looked him up.
Sure, in the phone book.
In a fanfic no one will ever write and no one will ever read.
What do you mean it's my masterwork? I've been working on this for 2 years now since we started this podcast. My Xena Taurus fic.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, my goodness.
Save me.
Yeah, so Lycius and his shadow, I like that. I prefer that. It's like, the Peter Pan thing.
Right.
So they would sit there and tell ghost stories. So she's like in a very nostalgic mood.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and this is when they make the connection to all the missing shit. And they're like,
yes,
a ghost took it.
Right, exactly.
A ghost did it.
It's a good ghost.
Yes.
Because Aries' gauntlet is gone too.
Yeah. And then I also really love just like Xena, she just, after a moment, just busts out with like, guys, this is so fucking cozy. I love this. It's so cute.
Oh.
But of course, Aries still hates everything.
Yeah.
Aries goes a grumpy cat.
A long rant. He finds ghosts annoying. He finds houses annoying. He finds rain annoying. He finds work annoying. He finds leaks and roofs annoying.
Right. Because it's a big one right on his face. Because the roof is really busted. And it's a thunderstorm out. So they have to find a room that's not leaking. The kitchen is.
This
I like
is so
that.
funny. This is like straight out of fanfic.
Yeah.
How do we justify the only one bed?
Yeah, exactly. Thing. And also out of porn.
Literally a trope.
Yeah. So they go into Xena's old room, which she has not been in this house yet, which I find extremely
That's right. I think she goes straight there, especially because they were going through rooms earlier, being like, let me show you this,
I don't believe that she would not bust into her own bedroom from her childhood.
Okay.
But
Plot hole,
yes. So they finally go in there. It's not leaking. She has a king-size bed as a small. Why is this a thing?
She needed her space.
Okay. She's a tall baby.
The only girl.
She's a tall baby.
She didn't live there all the time.
But it's her room. She
calls it my room, but maybe it's someone else's room most of the time.
I don't know. It seemed like it was hers.
This is weird.
Whatever. She has
like
this huge
bed.
When she
visited, this would be her room.
Okay, whose room really was it? Her grandparents would just like go away, and this is their room, really?
Amphipolis.
I liked the detail. I like the detail.
Yeah, but like she could have her own room in their house. Sorry, yes, the detail.
That she says like the reason it's not leaking in there is that Grandpa fortified the roof over this room, and I was like, Grandpa must have loved her. They must have had a special relationship, her and Grandpa.
This is why I think it's someone else's room though. Like it's like
it must be their room. They would give it up for her.
That's nice.
Maybe.
Yeah, I think
And
that's a
they'd
good
go
call.
sleep in the kitchen.
Not very nice to do to your grandparents.
Anyway, 3 people, 1 bed.
Yep, they're in it.
It's a big bed, though.
It's
bed.
huge.
They're gonna do
There's
it.
an airy sandwich happening.
They're all grown-ups.
Yeah. And he's like, yeah, we're all grown-ups. Yeah. Bow, chicka, bow, bow.
So there's only 2 lines of dialogue in the next scene. That's fun. Aries has to be in the middle, I'm assuming, for reasons.
For network reasons?
Yeah, I don't know. He's in the middle.
I think
but it is
obviously
his
Xena
episode,
should have been in the
so-
middle.
Yeah,
I agree. I
I
absolutely agree.
Yeah.
I think this is a problem. Xena should be in the middle. However, she's not. Aries is in the middle.
They have, like, no blankets.
Aries has this little piece of like a sack. It's just like a little piece of burlap that just kind of goes over the pecs. It's so weird.
He's using it like as if that's his blanket.
Yeah,
his tiny
he
little
is.
Square
He keeps like
of
adjusting
gauze.
it.
Yeah. It's weird. I feel like they would have had some kind of blanket situation, but
Xena and Gabs are both just wearing underwear. Straight up.
Yes.
And this obviously is after seasons and seasons of seeing them, like,
Yeah.
you know, sometimes wearing their breastplates to bed.
Yep.
Now they're wearing bras.
So Xena, this is kind of like not quite, maybe it's like dawn, like 6 a.m. maybe. It's not quite like morning. Xena rolls over and Aries roll over, so their like faces are like right in front of each other. And Xena wakes up and realizes that's happening, so she kind of like flips over.
Change of position is in order.
And he, starts spooning her a little bit for warmth. Warmth.
Obviously.
He has no blanket and he has no shirt. The shirt watch, no shirt. But she's like, I meant the other way, right?
She's like, you have
Yeah.
to change position too.
Yeah.
Roll the fuck over.
Yeah.
So he does.
Yes, and they sleep some more.
But in the process of rolling over, he like disturbs Gabs on the other side.
Uh-huh.
So she rolls over.
Hilarious.
Yup.
And her hand just comes up and hits him in the dick.
Right
In the dick.
And then comes to rest
And
there.
like on his face too, or
Yeah.
above his head or
right.
something.
Her other hand is kind of like,
Yeah.
like against his like forehead.
Yeah, something like that.
It looks awkward.
Xena does
Yeah.
not approve.
Xena is
Makes a
horrified. And she peels Gabs' hand off of there via like taking only like one finger and pulling up.
Jeez.
As if it's like really gross. And when it comes up, there's like a little sound.
Yeah.
Yep. You said you liked the sound effects this episode.
I did.
Sure.
I thought that was funny. And
Did we talk about how their bras are like literally from American Eagle and the like?
it's from American
2000.
Eagle, not from
I actually
not
thought the
from
whole
Victoria's
look was
Secret.
kind of American Eagle, like when
Yeah,
they put their
the
farm
whole
girl.
thing looks like
You
that.
guys were shopping at a different American Eagle than me.
No,
That is not what I remember. I remember sweaters. They were short.
Well, there was also like I bet maybe it was a little later than this. Where
Maybe
they
early
introduced
2000s.
the like bra part of the
Bra part of the-
airy or whatever it is.
Oh, I don't remember
Oh, that does
Yeah.
ring a
They
bell.
just look like those. They don't look like Victoria's Secret in the slightest.
that.
No.
Victoria's Secret has multiple different kinds of things. Plus, it's problematic now, so put a coin in.
Yeah.
So
we have to say that the bras are well fitting. That's all.
Okay,
we should
right.
say.
They
It's
know
very,
the right size.
Yeah,
That's
good for
very
them.
well fitting bras.
So Aries has a line to kind of cap this off. Like, I'm in Tartarus.
Good.
Yep.
Very high pitch. This whole scene was apparently a trip for them to shoot.
I bet.
sure it
I
was
bet.
They had many ruined takes because
it's very-
of giggling.
Yeah.
And this take, I can't really tell,
Yeah, I
but
can't
Renee
tell.
says she can tell that she is like burying her face in the pillow so that
Yeah.
you can't see that she's laughing.
That's probably
but
true.
This was
I'm
the
sure.
best take. Was this take where
It worked for me.
she's corpsing apparently.
I can't. But you probably see it a little bit.
We'll have to look frame by frame.
So it's proper morning now, and Aries wakes up alone in the bed, still no shirt. Xena is outside. She's very angry.
You hear the rooster, which made me think of Been There, Done That.
Yeah.
pretty B-roll, isn't it?
Traumatized by
Yeah.
rooster.
She should be.
The ghost has snatched her breastplate. And she's like, if I can kill gods, maybe I can kill ghosts.
That was the second thing that I thought was about the finale.
Oh my god!
Wow.
I didn't say it was on purpose. I just went, the first time I went, oh, and then this time I went, oh.
Killing ghosts.
Oh
and you
my
said
God.
he writes the next set. So I was
It's
just
literally
like,
the next thing he's going to write.
God,
throwing
I
this
guess
in for
put those
fun.
pins in.
I don't think it doesn't seem intentional.
It's not an intentional
At
pin,
all.
but we appreciate it for sure.
But you just sometimes just think about things. That's all. Your mind does wander.
Well, the ghost could not carry the breastplate.
No.
He had to drag it. So they follow the dragging marks.
Yeah, that line where he's like, "I would have to drag it an ample breastplate."
Oh my God,
to be
yeah.
sure. It's a pretty good one.
Yeah.
I thought, good gag. So they find like some dirt mounds.
Yeah, it's been burying all their stuff.
They're like, "What the fuck?" They hear a deep growling sound.
An intense growl.
Ares tracks it to like a downed tree and looks inside the trunk.
And he's like, it's a wolf! Nope.
No.
It's the cutest dog.
so cute.
It's the cutest dog in the world.
This is so
Except
cute.
not, because our dog's the cutest dog in the world.
Fair.
Shut up, Philippe.
Philippe, miss you, boo.
Oh, so cute.
He's not on this podcast.
No, not today.
And Gabs is like, thinks this is so hilarious. She's like, it's a dog. Don't you? They have dogs in Olympus.
And he's like, not ones with one head.
Yeah.
That was good, yeah.
That was a
Okay,
very
yeah.
good joke. That might be my fave joke of the episode.
So you have a lot
now
of...
we get like love at first sight. It wasn't
Yeah.
with Greba. It's with this dog.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is like a really fluffy Australian Shepherd.
Yeah,
And
so pretty.
He goes all over shirtless Aries, and they bond.
It's a lot, yeah.
They
Well,
do so much bonding.
At this point, the dog bonds with him, but
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the dog's like
Aries is
attacking his
not
face
into
with the
the
leaks.
Dog at first.
they would rub meat jelly on him to make the dog love him.
Oh,
Of
gross.
course, as always.
all over that naked chest.
Oh no, meat jelly.
Meat
What is
jelly.
that? What is meat jelly?
I don't know.
There's a really cute shot of Xena and Gabs giving the dog belly rubs.
Oh yes, that
It's
was
real cute,
really
real
cute.
cute.
I mean, this is at this point just ridiculous. As
This
soon
is
as
just-
the dog
yeah.
enters, you're just like, okay, like, oh my god.
I mean, yeah, it's like super, just everything
This
you want.
just became like, just like fluffiness
yeah,
central.
it's
You're-
fluff
yeah.
now.
Gabs tells him he's not attacking you. He's trying to be affectionate. And Aries is like, yeah, well, I'm not interested in that kind of relationship, which I thought was pretty great. So Gabs wants to keep the dog. And Aries is like, oh my God. Like, no. Like, is there anything you and I agree on? And at this, Gabs very, very pointedly turns and looks at Xena.
Xena, it's very quick editing.
It's very good,
Very
though.
fast.
You can't miss it.
I mean, in part because it's like worked into the dialogue.
Yeah.
Aries says, okay, yeah, but is there anything else?
Yeah, this is a good...
So, yeah, excellent. Yeah, and I think that's very fitting that it's a subtext moment, but it is in the text because Aries then, like, textualizes it. So
Xena and Gabs go off to get supplies for the house. They go shopping, and Aries is instructed to stay and fix the roof. While he's doing that, Greba McEntire shows up with some more news.
I love the dog, like, leaping around the ladder while he's
my God,
fixing
yeah.
the roof. It's so cute.
Yeah, this dog's very good.
This dog is ridiculous.
Very good dog.
He's very well trained.
Yeah.
And,
She sees the dog, and she's like, ooh, dogs make me go all cuddly. And then you have this shot of the dog being like, who, me?
Right, the dog is very...
Yeah.
As we've established on the podcast previously, I am weak for animal reaction
Yeah,
shots.
you get a lot of them in this
And they're
episode.
all over the place.
And
in
they're
this
very old
episode.
school, I think,
They
so.
are indeed. So yeah, Aries is like, oh, she likes dogs? Okay, that's a different story. And tells the dog to go say hello.
Yeah.
And you get this really cute, like, point of view shot from Greba of the dog running up.
And it's like attacking her
just
with love.
A beauty
Yeah.
shot of this dog staring into the lens. These adorable Australian Shepherd eyes. And you're just
Yeah.
like, this is like dog porn, but not like dog porn, just like
Yeah.
for your feels.
Yes. Cute dogs.
Greba goes on to tell her, sad life story.
A very sad story.
Yeah, so her husband died in the wars 3 years ago. And then the funeral procession ran over their dog.
That's terrible.
I believe is the story. And she says it makes you think. Isn't war just terrible? I don't get why people can't be more like animals. Animals don't lie or cheat or kill each other, except they do.
And she's like, cheat.
Well, yeah. And then she's like, like, why can't we be more like this dog? Like, if he likes you, he just comes up to you and licks you.
Oh,
and
boy.
Aries is like, okay, let's do that then.
He suggested they go for a nice long walk with the dog sometime. And she's like, oh, they wouldn't mind us borrowing your dog?
Which is weird that she's even
your daughters
concerned
is
about
the big thing.
Yeah, she's like, your daughters wouldn't mind? And he's like, my daughters?
Yeah. You
so
mean
weird.
slave girls? And she's like, no.
That's so weird that she would think that they were his daughters.
Yeah, I mean, it's weird. I mean, we get that the gag is that he's old.
Okay, but he
Yeah.
has like one gray hair.
He's got
that
one
they start
gray
to talk
hair.
About. They don't look at anywhere near young enough to be
His daughters. Yeah.
Very strange.
Yeah.
But we get a whole bunch of jokes about how old Greba thinks Aries is.
Yeah.
And he's not feeling it anymore.
Should embrace the salt and pepper.
I mean, I think he looks great
Embrace
with the salt
it,
and pepper.
Aries.
Yeah, and she's just, she's used to, like, young, dumb guys. Like, he's mature. Yeah.
Sophisticated. Daddy. So he freaks out and, like, runs back up the ladder to escape from her.
Yeah.
And this is a mistake.
No,
Right.
God.
Because the roof caves in.
Yep. And he falls right down into the house.
Like, a whole bunch of shit on him.
Oh, no.
Sad. Just to add insult to injury. He's all dirty now.
Well,
So, when Xena comes back, he's still lying there.
yeah. Smelling my mortality. What is that? Smelling?
Smelling. I'm sure it don't smell good.
What happened there? Well, anyway, I get how, I don't mean to bring, like, the podcast down, but I get how this is supposed to be, like, a funny, but you can't help but think, that Kevin Smith, who is sadly no longer with us, like, died similarly in a fall. So there's this, like, extra layer to this moment that it kind of makes it so not funny anymore. And then it reminds me of, like, just like one of those things where, like, you watch something after an actor has passed away and it's like, some stuff is uncomfortable. Like, we watched The Sopranos after James Gandolfini died. And there's all these little moments where you're like, that kind of, like, make you think about it. This is one of those moments for me with him here.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I thought the whole episode, in a way, like, it is very funny, but it has this slightly bittersweet quality. In part, I think, because he's the lead character in it, which isn't usually true for a Xena episode. And I think if you're able to kind of put that fact out of your mind for other episodes, you can't do it here.
Yeah.
I think it's very close to the surface. It's really tragic because he's wonderful. I think this is
so
definitely
good.
one of his best performances.
This episode,
It
Yeah.
is. It is. This is the best Aries,
Yeah.
like, ever on the show.
And,
in my
he
opinion.
just has no vanity. He's so funny. Like, it was a huge loss.
Well, the dog's licking his face. In this,
Aw,
even though
yeah.
he's under the rebel.
So, yeah.
He complains that he'll never make a convincing farmer.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I love in his complaining. He's like, he like lists all these things. I have gray hair,
Yeah.
and then he's like, the dog has his tongue in my mouth.
He already said he didn't want that relationship. Xena says that, you know what, you just need some farm accessories.
Oh yeah,
And
and we
cue,
get the like bluegrass music coming
Yeah.
in again.
the accessories are arriving via Gabs, driving a wagon.
Oh my God.
The Gabs wagon.
They're pulling up in, like, the truck. Oh
Yeah.
my God. Very, very good content. Oh my God. Good content.
Yeah.
So what she got in there?
Yo, I don't know, they spent thousands of dinars. They bought a whole
Where'd
fucking
they
farm.
get all this money?
I don't know.
I was thinking about that all along because, like, later they're going to be talking about, like, Aries' future prospects, and they're like, well, he'll hire help. And you're like,
Where?
how?
Yeah, with what money?
I mean, I know he used to be a god, but he's just
But he's
a
got
dude.
nothing. Yeah,
he
he's
literally
just
just
a
has a
dude.
vest now.
No, not
He
now.
doesn't even have it.
Aries shirt watch, still no shirt.
So yeah, they got chickens, they got cows, I guess.
Yeah, they got
on there.
cows. They got
a pig.
yeah.
Apparently, this pig was the stand-in for Babe. This pig is a celebrity.
Well, he's
Not
a stand-in.
actually Babe
Yeah.
number 2.
He's like, oh man,
Not Babe.
Didn't Hollywood Reporter just do like a whole spread about stand-ins and like the celebrities kind of thanking them?
Oh, that's fun.
So they should thank this pig.
Yeah.
A stand-in.
Well, what is it? You done good, pig? What is it? I can't quote
Yeah,
Brit
you did
Pig.
good.
Yeah.
That'll do, pig.
That'll do, pig.
You're done
Right.
good,
You're
pig.
done good.
That's what you say to the stand-in. That's the real one.
Stand-ins do a lot. They
They
have
do
to
so
just
much.
stand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Set up the shots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Be there.
There's
They
an
work
episode-
much longer than the actors.
Well, we know like Xena's stand-in obviously is in the show.
Right, yeah. And I think that's in part people want to give stand-ins they
Yeah.
like some kind of on-screen glory. Because otherwise you never see their work.
Right. It's very important. So now they're inside the house.
This is cute. They're like putting their shopping
Yeah, they're like
away.
putting away the food, like putting the bread and the counter.
I feel like
and stuff.
this is as domestic as it gets. Like this is
Oh my
just
God,
such
yeah.
a like cute little moment. Aries is sitting with the dog and watching them putting groceries away.
Gabs is humming the Xena Warrior Princess theme.
Which I don't think we've heard her hum before. I feel like
Xena's
Xena
whistled
has
it.
definitely whistled it.
Yeah. It's stuck in her head. Aries complains that the dog is needy, and Gabs suggests that he pet it.
This is great. He does not know how to pet a dog at all.
It's very cute.
It's very funny.
Yeah.
It's just sort of like knocking it on the head.
Yeah. Xena then gives him a job that he'll like, to kill a chicken for their dinner.
And Gabs quickly adds, only one chicken.
Yeah, and he like practically flies to the coop, with his sword.
Yeah, we get like a whole like kung fu scene. Again, I feel very
Yeah.
nostalgic for Xena to just go full kung fu sounds.
Oh my goodness. And it's like a whole thing of like chicken cam.
Yeah,
and just running around.
I thought that was almost like the Evil Dead cam.
Yeah,
when
yeah.
you have the camera like
with chickens.
except with chickens.
So he's like flying at them, obviously missing. It's supposed to be funny.
It's sweet.
Sure.
He commits to it. That's
Sure.
what makes it funny.
Yeah. So inside, Xena and Gabs are chatting. Xena says that once Aries is set up, they're going to be out of there. And Gabs is like, sure, Jan. Sure.
Gabs basically says to Xena, like, I know why you're really here. It's not about Aries.
Yeah.
You're here to relive your childhood memories.
The camera then like does this kind of from a two-shot throughout this moment, zooms in on Xena to give her like a close-up, and it's very dramatic. And she's like, kind of admits that, and she says that she was happy here, it was peaceful, and she felt safe.
That part really got me. I felt safe.
Yeah, it was the last time she felt that way. And then Gab says, let's enjoy it while we can.
That part also seemed like so meaningful to me. I mean, again, thinking about Kindred Spirits, where Gabs was actually putting pressure on Xena to stay, to stay in the domestic situation.
Yeah.
Like, don't you like it? Can't you see this being our life forever? Here, she's much more resigned.
Yeah.
She's like, I know.
Yeah.
I'm glad you're admitting to, like, enjoying it, but I'm not telling you that, like, you need to be doing this forever.
Right.
She knows Xena can't. So I think that's a big moment actually of acceptance for
But I think
Gabs.
what if it was also like Gabs no longer wants to do
Wants
that
it herself.
either.
Yeah, that's a really good point. I don't think Gabs wants it either.
And then it's like, an extra like meta step for the audience because like the show is coming to an end
Right.
soon.
Enjoy it while you can.
Yeah. And then they stare at each other with their eyeballs.
Yeah.
I wanted to talk a little bit about the significance
eyeballs?
of their eyeballs, which are always very nice. But the costumes actually, like, obviously Xena has like the brown, like that kind of looks a little bit like her usual costume.
Sure.
Like the silhouette of it.
Okay.
And Gabs in the blue made me think of Sweet Baby Angel, Pona
Oh,
Dia
no.
Gabs.
blue skirt, Gabs.
Yeah, that's the last time we've had a blue costume
Oh
on
my
Gabs.
goodness,
So again,
Gabs.
going back to this idea of nostalgia,
Yeah.
like, not just
Season
for
one nostalgia.
for Xena's home life, but
Yeah.
season 1, what the show used to be. We see so much of that embedded in the DNA of this episode.
Yeah.
I think it's really effective. It's also really, really cute when Xena and Gabs like go to the window and watch Aries doing the chicken.
crazy.
Cannot kill this chicken.
Yeah,
The pig. You get like shots of the pig too.
Yeah, all the animals are getting in on it. The dog is trying to
there,
help.
Yeah, and then he licks the face when Aries is like on the ground, failing.
Probably some meat jelly again.
Always the meat jelly. Xena says that her plan is beginning to work, and he's like, the plan to drive me insane? No, of course not. It's a plan to deal with Gascar.
He's like coming right towards them.
And that's part of her plan.
Literally right there.
Yeah.
And then it's great. You get this reaction shot of Aries and he's like gaping and like there's like a chicken feather in his hair.
So this is a little weird because previously we had Xena do the Superman switch for her outfit, but here's like a very long and involved like squire putting on her armor.
Time, all right.
Like this is very different.
This for a minute. I don't know.
Like we know she's capable of putting it on herself, but here Gabs is like
Gabs has volunteered to help
putting that breastplate on.
Suck it in.
I love that. And then like she's pulling on like the corset. Yeah, it's good, but a little odd since previously she did it herself.
How long ago was it in their timeline of staying here?
You think she like needs help now?
Yep.
Because
They've been eating really well.
all that bread.
It's not like they're not, it's like when you go on vacation. That's all. That's it.
Oh man.
So she tells Aries that he has to convince this search party of warlords that he really is a farmer because, hella coincidentally, this search party has no warlords in it
Who have seen him.
Who have seen Aries.
Yes, right. Gascar and Attila know what Aries looks like, but they're not here. Some other goon is.
Phew.
Yeah. And she can't be there because, like, why would Xena be
Why
there?
would
So
Xena
she's
be
going to
there?
go
Looks
out in the back and,
suspicious.
like, kind of hide. So the official story is that Aries stayed here at the farm, and then he left a few days ago to go to some other place.
I love that Aries is like, okay, I need a moment. And he does this, like, very actorly gesture.
Yeah.
He just, like, drags his hand over his face, being like, I must put it on. I must get into character.
So he's like, okay, Gabs, you got to stall. And she's like, I don't need a moment. My character's right here. And she just rips her shirt open. Takes off her, like, little...
It's such a, like, Hulk it out moment. Just rawr.
It's actually also Superman, right? When
That's
he goes
true.
from the Clark Kent
That's
to
really
the Superman.
true.
Yeah. And she tussles her hair, and she goes outside to meet the goons.
Taking care of business. She just, like, leans in the door frame being like, ha! And then leans on the pole being like, ha!
She's like, ooh, what have I just been up to? And the goons are like, oh, yeah.
Would you like to tell us?
Yeah. Her bra is the same pattern as, like, the bottom of her, like, the frilly part of her skirt.
It's clearly part of the outfit. This is what I was like, is this a stripper outfit? It's clearly the milkmaid outfit for the role playing.
Oh my God.
There's literally no other explanation.
You're so right. They ask her if she's seen Aries, and then they kind of describe him. They say that his looks are dark, and women like the look of him.
And she's like, there are a lot of men around here I like the look of.
LOL.
Yeah, this is the part coming up.
And suddenly you hear Aries' voice, but he's like, Josa! And he comes out, and he's in full character.
Yeah.
Let's describe him. Well, first thing, Aries' shirt watch. He has a shirt.
He's got a shirt on.
Sort of.
It's more of a sack.
It's like a sack. Yeah, it's a sack. He's got a hat. He's got, like, cotton balls in his mouth.
He's definitely stuffed a pillow down his front.
Yeah.
Probably a few. He's doing an accent.
Big old accent.
Like, get back on in the house, woman.
Yep.
This is not great. But it is also great.
In a hilarious way. I'll throw a coin in for it because, yeah.
The goons, laugh at him, and they knock him around a little bit until Xena rides up and stops this beating up sequence.
She's like, this isn't Aries. Aries is a much younger man. That was a great bird thrown in to save Aries from getting beaten up.
So the head goon here, he's like, oh, why don't you put the pinch on him? I've never seen it. I would love to see
he
this.
He completely forgets what the hell they're even trying to do.
They just wanted to see the pinch. Yeah, he's like, ooh, it makes blood come out of their nose. Do it. And she's like, all right. So she puts the pinch on Aries.
Well, it's actually, she does not want to.
She doesn't, but then she's like, all right.
Like, they have a moment where she sort of looks at him and he looks at her, and I feel like he's sort of...
Well, he's like, don't do it. And she's like, meh, I gotta do it.
All right.
So when she does that,
the dog loses his shit.
Yeah, he's like, how dare you?
It's like, that's my person.
And he bites her in the butt.
Right, she's so mad.
She's
so
not
mad
happy.
She throws the chakra at the dog.
Oh my god!
Well, that's a little later.
Yeah,
but she's mad.
Yeah, the dog does this like trick, right? Where he
This
jumps
was a cool
up,
trick.
He jumps on the horseback.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just leaps right up there, up into the saddle.
So Aries, under the pinch,
Excellent.
says the actual story that he's supposed to say. That
Right,
Aries
to the
was there,
Harada
and then he
pass
went to
in a voice.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's definitely not only doing the
It's
accent.
like a heliums if he
Yeah.
took helium or something.
Yeah.
So
So
it's
good.
very high.
It's very silly. It might be one of the silliest moments in the whole episode.
Yeah.
Seeing the God of War.
yeah.
Very good.
Oh, when the dog bit her in the butt, the pig and the rooster laugh.
Oh yeah,
Oh my God.
We got a whole bunch of animal reaction
and the
shots
the
there.
goons and the pig and the rooster. They laugh.
What is this show?
Pretty ridiculous.
So she takes the pinch off of him, and the goons are satisfied. They take off. So Xena's like, I'm gonna go to the pass, but she like circles around and comes back.
Right, like a minute later.
Yeah.
So Gabs comes back out.
Oh, this is good. I like this. And she starts giving Aries notes on his acting.
This is left over from her Plays the Thing
Yes.
persona, where she was the director.
Too much attitude
Yeah.
out the gate. Work your way up.
And he's like, but what? No! Any man would react the way I did to your slutty performance.
Yeah.
Oy.
Shit. Very good.
This is so good. This
These
is so
lines
good. This
are
is so
great,
good.
where Gabs then has to defend herself. She was like, well, I was just playing with my character. I just used the first thing that popped into my head. And Aries says in response, I think that says a lot about you.
It's just such a good, yeah. So this confirms that these outfits are from their role play.
Absolutely,
Yeah,
from
for
their
sure.
role play.
For sure. So this is when Xena comes back and she throws the chakram at the dog.
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
That's
Xena.
excessive.
Yeah, I'm throwing in a coin
For
for
Xena's success.
animal violence, Xena.
She misses. It's fine.
I mean, she
Yeah.
didn't throw it at him to
That's
hit
true.
him.
Yeah, she
That's
threw it
just to get him out of the
like, kinda
saddle.
like- Miss.
Yeah. But still, do not throw things at dogs.
Yeah, well, that's what he's like. Don't throw chakrams at my dog.
And that's
then
what
it's
he
like,
said.
oh,
He said my dog.
I know.
Oh my god! And then he names the dog.
And also picks it up. And,
Oh my God, that's so
cuddles
cute.
it,
Yeah.
which is
Oh.
so sweet. Because this dog is like short legs.
Oh my
so
God.
when you pick him up, he's just like a ball.
It's like short legs and like all the fur ever, like on his naked. Well, he's not naked chested here. He has a shirt. Remember, it's shirt watch.
Shirt watch.
Yeah. So
He names the dog
Horace.
Horace,
Yes,
which is a Roman poet.
that's
Sure.
what this dog was telling him to name it. Yeah, he was feeling that.
Looks like a
poetry.
horse.
Yeah. So they go. The dog worships him. It's a relationship that Aries can understand.
Oh yes,
So cute.
that was a great line. He
Uh,
does worship him.
So now we're in the barn, and the ladies are milking the cow. Well, Xena's milking a
Yeah,
cow.
Gabs
Yeah.
is literally just there.
Well, she's the little baby
I
cow.
found that
snuggle.
a surprise. Did anybody else find that a
I
surprise
remembered it
that
as
they're
both
not
of them.
both-
Yeah.
Yeah, well, in part because we're having a conversation about the proper way to do it. You would think
Yeah.
maybe they literally production could not get 2 adult cows, so Gabs is forced to cuddle a baby.
Yes. Gabs and Xena are having a discussion.
They're talking shop.
They're talking shop about like what's the best way to milk a cow, basically.
I like that Gabs starts it by just being like, "I see you use the pull and squeeze method."
She's basically wants to be like, actually,
yeah, she's definitely actually
the double
her.
squeeze method is better.
You get more milk that way, and it's easier on the cow.
Yeah, and Aries is we reveal that he's kind of like plopped on the floor
With
Horace, And of course, he gets the double entendre.
He's laughing, but to be fair, they're laughing too. And I think Xena like squeezes the milk a little at Gabs. It's sort of like,
oh my God,
goodness.
Quit at you.
Oh wow! But I think Gabs is 100% dead serious about this. She's like, my method is better, and you should use it.
She's a proper Podedian farm girl,
and she's like the Monica.
She has more serious opinions about this than Xena, I think.
Ares is like, the warrior princess and the battling bard discussing the correct technique for milking a cow. Absurd. And yet, at the same time, ridiculous. I liked it.
Ares.
Xena says it's important.
Yeah.
That's true. That's a funny capper to it. Well, part of it is, this is like women's work. And like Ares is sitting there being a man, being ha ha ha, seeing you guys do these proper lady things. I love actually that Xena's like, it's important.
Yeah.
So that's an odd thing to call a proper lady thing.
Well, at this time, gender roles, it would be the lady milking the cow.
Sounds not proper. Like it's making it sound like they're proper ladies doing cow milking. And not even improper, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, you're right.
Just that they're like fancy women.
Yeah. They are fancy women.
Oh my goodness. They sleep in dirt all the time. So
but then they have unlimited funds.
That's true.
Come on. These ladies
thousands
have
of dollars.
like a giant trust fund.
These
the
cows
only way to
cost
this.
so much. They don't even have like Josh's money anymore.
I know.
Where
it's
does
so
Josh
unclear
from?
where the dinars come from.
Oh my goodness.
It's really the unsolved mystery of the show, where they get the dinars from.
Dinars. So Aries shirt watch. He has a shirt, if you can call it that.
Okay.
It is very low cut.
Okay.
Deep V.
Yeah. Well, it's not even a V. It's like a U.
Yeah.
U. The pecs are very much peeking out. Suddenly a voice calls out, and he's like, hello there. And Horace bolts.
Oh, no.
An old man enters. And guys, this is another blast
Burger King.
Yeah, blast from the past, Burger King.
Burger King is here.
I mean, not as Burger King, but as an old man.
But yeah, King Lear's actor. This was,
I got a feel.
I had such a feel, because this is, just such a face from early Xena times. Oh my God, Burger King, hello.
This guy, he's looking for his dog. He explains that he's a traveling salesman, and his dog ran off a few weeks ago during a thunderstorm. And he's like, you can't miss him. He has 2 different color eyes.
This is such a bummer to me.
I know.
I did not like this.
Yeah.
I wanted Aries to just,
I know. Aries is going out of his way to be like, I haven't seen him. Doesn't ring a bell.
And I kept waiting for the plot point where the traveling salesman would turn around and be like, I abuse animals. I'm the worst.
No.
Oh my God.
So you could feel good about the fact that Aries stole this man's dog. But no, he's just this nice guy.
When the dog ran away.
The dog
and then he
doesn't
ran
seem-
away again
Yeah.
when the guy came.
I think the dog likes Aries better.
Yeah, he's not into this guy for sure.
I looked up this actor, and he is also Sam's old gaffer in Lord of the Rings, which I thought was a funny thing. Only in the extended editions. You don't meet the gaffer in the theatricals.
Oh, that's nice.
So he's not an electrician, is what you mean? Gaffer electrician.
In the movie.
Yes, gaffer. Ha ha ha.
So they hear barking, and the guy's like, "Oh, that's him!" And they go and they see the dog running off, and he's like, "Jake, come back to me!"
Jake?
Yeah, his name's Jake.
I thought it was King.
What?
King. The
Wow,
dog's name is King.
Forget it.
I think you keeping this in. Where'd you get Jake
from the subtitles.
It's a Jake.
On NBC.com it says Jake.
No, it's
and I was like, that's a really great name, Jake.
That is good, but it's not his name.
Okay.
It's funny, NBC, what up?
Fine. Well, we missed our terrible Hulu subtitles.
Yeah.
So.
They might have said Jake also.
Well, and then I heard Jake. I don't know.
That's
it
weird.
was weird.
It was when you read it and you hear it.
Yeah, exactly. Even though that's nothing like King at all. Well, okay.
No, it's
King,
really not.
King, come back to Daddy. Maybe that's why he runs away, because he's like, Daddy.
Yeah, no one likes Daddy.
And Ares is like, run, Horace, run.
Oh, yeah, that was a reference.
A reference. Then Xena gives Ares this supportive yet sarcastic shoulder squeeze.
Oh, I did not catch that.
Yeah.
Xena employing the arm touch technique.
Yeah.
I see.
So later we see the same salesman guy stop by Gascar. who notices the dog chewing on a gauntlet. And he's like, I know that gauntlet. It's definitely Aries' gauntlet.
Definitely 100% I know this gauntlet.
And he's like, where'd you get it from? And there's all threatening and stuff. And he's like, a farm.
He's like, a farm? Could it be the same farm where Xena just happened to be hanging out at? Dun, dun, dun.
So on the farm, Xena, Gabs, and Aries are looking for his gauntlet. It's missing. Greba McEntire shows up with the latest gossip.
Yep. Those are the more plot.
Oh my goodness, Gaskar's army has turned around, coming back to this valley again.
And they're like, oh shit, no. And then Greba's like, okay, in other news. And then before she can tell them more gossip, Xena's just like,
go away.
thank you, Greba.
Yeah. And then she's like, go
away.
And she's like, okay.
Yeah. It's pretty great, I have to say.
So after that, Xena rides to Gaskar's camp, but he's on to her. Mm-hmm. Why is she trying to hide Aries? But before she can answer, in comes Gabs.
Oh my god.
Gabs attack.
She's doing another acting here.
I know. Oh, this really is a subplot of the episode, is Gabs being like, I have to, like, do characters.
Yeah.
And they can't all be about sex. Oh, wait a minute. They all are.
Immediately, you know that it is a plan. There's no moment at which this is.
I
mean,
not
goodness,
a plan.
wow.
The way they're playing this is delightful.
Yeah.
Because
they're
having
time.
fun and the characters are having fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everybody is having fun.
Yeah. Every meta level of this is fun. So Xena's like, Gabs, this isn't time for one of your little spats.
Oh my god, I loved that. Because it's always great because it's like there's some truth in that always.
Oh, yeah. She's method acting, is what you're saying. So
Gabs accuses Xena of falling in love with Aries.
And that suddenly, like, I'm nothing, she says.
That's a line.
Wow.
That's a line.
Gasp.
And then I do love Gaskar. He's perfect in this episode. And he's perfection in the scene.
Yeah.
Like, perfection.
Yeah.
He's like, you fell in love with Aries after all that he's done to you? That's pathetic.
Yeah.
I felt like that was a line for any shippers in the audience who are still shipping it.
Oh my god.
Being like, this is why Xena Aries can't work, because it makes Xena look bad if she were to go for that. And it's it's a persuasive argument.
Gaskar is writing the Tumblr meta.
Oh gosh.
Xena then turns to Gaskar. She's like, you want a piece of me? And he goes, none of my business, really. It's so good.
Meanwhile, Gabs is just like, she's breathing fire. She's like, you taught me how to fight, I'm going to fight you. Maybe I'm tougher than you think. Yeah. And she, like, chest bumps her. There is such a sound effect.
There's like a boing.
But also, like, steel.
Oh, yeah, steel.
Like, literally it's like steel hitting steel.
Well, boobs hitting steel.
Boobs hitting steel.
So it's like a boing steel.
I thought it was that the abs are connecting.
To the boobs?
What?
What? I thought it was literally the sound of Gab's abs.
It's an aggressive boob on boob shove. Okay. And it's good.
Yeah.
So Gabs then angrily tells Gaskar that Aries is headed to Poltreus and he's going to hide in some cave there. And then Xena's like, why I oughta?
Okay, there we go. Yeah, she spits on her hand.
That is the Stooges.
That is Stooges.
Yeah.
Boo.
Yeah.
I thought it was like, what is the honeymooners line?
Oh, the domestic violence.
Yeah, the domestic
hilarity.
Yeah.
The bang zoom to the moon.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I thought it was doing that.
Yeah, it was a real classic comedy. Yeah, no, it is good, actually. That's just a terrible thing. Terrible joke, not funny.
Oh my god. So Gab's like, come on, warrior princess. Come on, warrior princess. Let's see what you got. And they start fighting. And it is great.
It's great. Yeah, I mean, it's fun to see a choreographed fight that is meant to look like a choreographed fight. The way they sort of flip around each other. It looks like a dance.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do a lot of forearm hitting and what's the other word? What's the opposite of deflecting? Yeah, there we go. And Gab starts like throwing these bottles everywhere. And I thought she was like, oh my god, they're going to set this tent on fire. These are like, oil or something. But it's like not. It's just like whatever treasures that Gaskar had.
Smash stuff.
She's throwing everything around, and he's literally like can we take this outside? And, more stuff is thrown at him. He's like, okay, I'll leave.
I know, it's pretty nice. He's just like, okay, destroy my tent.
Yeah.
Fine.
It's good.
This has to be Stooges, I think, all the smashing.
I guess. It seemed, I don't know, it seemed tolerable to me.
Yeah, it was horrible because it's funny.
Because there was no, nose grabbing. There was no,
Right.
sound effects of, eye popping. It wasn't like if Joxer was here, it would be like that.
That's true. Part of it is just how, straightforwardly sweet
I mean,
it
honestly,
is.
it just was ladies throwing stuff.
Yeah.
That's, I don't know if that's supposed
And
to be.
kicking each other in a low contact way.
Well, later they were far apart, just throwing
Yeah.
things. So they throw a big kind of
bust.
head, head
Yeah.
bust. It's everything they can get their hands on. So
I love that Gabs especially, Xena I feel like has a pretty good game face for this, but Gabs in a lot of it is just gritting. Presumably Gasker can see that she's literally just like, ha, this is great.
Oh my goodness.
I'm enjoying beating the crap out of Xena.
Warrior princess. So once alone, they...
All right, they've just pulled out their sai and sword. That's
Yeah.
the end of the fight.
It's
is when
going to
the
get
weapons
heated.
come
They're going to
out.
kill each other, basically, and then Gasker leaves. And once alone, they sort of, high five with the weapons.
Yeah, they just
It's
kinda
really
clink.
cute. Yeah. And they're like, nice moves.
Yeah, that's a great little capper to the scene.
So it's all part of the plan, in case anybody was wondering.
This is also very funny because this is the action-packed climax of the episode. It's structurally, that's what this is, and it's funny that
This is it.
This is it. This is what you get in the comedy episode. It counts as action, but that is not what it is.
Back on the farm, Aries is sad.
Oh.
And not wearing a shirt.
Aries shirt watch, no shirt.
No shirt.
But here comes Horace.
Oh, to save the day.
Reunited, and it feels so good.
Oh, picks him up, and
Yeah.
there's lots of face licking here.
So much. Xena and Gabs right in. Gabs says, guess you don't need the flute girls anymore.
Oh my god.
Because of the dog?
Yeah, and where he said that he's not interested in that relationship, that kind of relationship. So where did Horace and his army head to? They went to the Poltreus caves, and that's exactly where the beast of the 7 heads makes his lair.
8 heads.
Yup, it's 8 heads.
So that takes care of that problem. It's such a hand wave.
Yeah.
Just okay, and all the warlords die at the end.
Yeah, exactly. Well, this show loves to send people to caves.
That's true.
That's a
yeah,
thing.
when in doubt, just send him to the cave. It always works.
So Aries is safe here now. But he says that once he's out of chickens, he's just gonna, roll out of here. Gonna move on.
This kind of disappoints Xena because she thought he was really getting into it.
Yeah.
She says that she hoped he might find some kind of peace here that he won't find afterwards. And who knows? Maybe I'll come and visit you sometimes.
She says that in a very Wiles way.
Yeah, she does the whole lean in. Her mouth is very close to his mouth, and you're like, oh.
Yeah,
and then she
is.
just pinches his cheek.
Haha.
And says, good boy.
She likes to tease him now.
But
Very
yeah,
bad.
it's bad. Yeah, it's
So
sad.
bad what
She
she
should-
does to this guy.
She should just leave it be now.
Yeah, leave him alone. Leave him alone. But
So,
yeah, she shouldn't
yeah.
think that he's going to take to that.
It's hard to imagine.
Yeah,
That's
I
part
know.
of why this episode is a little strange. We love the kind of let's spend a long, dirty weekend all sleeping in the same bed in this little cabin. But it's the actual idea that they are teaching the god of war to just be a farmer forever is totally unbelievable. You're no way. No way is this end game for Aries.
Although I would love it. It was endgame for Guys Balto.
It was.
So good.
I mean, there is something. I mean, yeah, it is. I feel that watching this episode is just sort of a sadness about it. That Aries. That's the end. He's past his prime now. He's gonna be a farmer. I mean, not really, because now he's gonna be in later episodes doing other stuff.
Yeah.
So put a pin
And they
in
never
that.
really taught him how to farm.
No, well, they just said they're literally going to make the interns do it. Their plan doesn't make sense.
So they leave, and Gabs asks Xena how she's doing as they're riding their horses.
Yeah, it's a nice little idyllic trotting off.
Yeah, in the valley.
Very pretty music. This again is sort of like less the like using the pastoral music for comedy and more like legit.
Xena says she's learned something. You can't look for peace in the world around you. You've got to find it in your own heart. I was happy here as a kid because I was loved and felt like I belonged. I was lucky then, and I'm lucky now.
Gross. That's gross.
This might be one of the most sentimental things she's ever said in her life.
Oh, no.
And then Gab says, me too.
No.
I feel like this is a really interesting, sensitive chat because, like, usually, like, Xena will say something and then Gabs will kind of get the, like, moral. I feel like Gabs will kind of reassure Xena with, like, the big line. That's how it worked last week at the end of the Ring trilogy. Gabs had the line about, like, you know, your memories brought you back. Like, here, like, Xena kind of gets the whole thought and Gabs can just be like, same. Not. I like that. I feel like that in itself is character growth for Xena, that she can kind of articulate, like, the emotional growth for herself.
Nice, yeah.
So, yeah, we fade out on them riding off.
Yeah, and that was our nice little...
No more little idyllic life.
Fanfic.
Yeah,
Bye.
That's it.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.
That's the last time they try that on for size, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So, yeah, as fun and cozy it is, there's a slight wistfulness about it.
Well, this definitely must have birthed a lot of fanfic, too.
Oh, for goodness sake. It is a fanfic.
Yeah.
We've all read this fanfic, that there's only one bed, we gotta live on a farm. Even, like, you know, there's the whole genre of, like, curtain fic, where, you know, they just all go shopping for their house.
Oh,
That's
my
basically
goodness.
what happened in this.
Well, at least the bees didn't make, like, the pollen make them have sex.
That's
you know,
true.
That's another whole
Too
thing.
bad we didn't get that.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the one thing it really was missing.
I enjoyed this episode a lot.
Yeah, me too. It's really fun.
It's a fun watch. It's like one of those, like, where you definitely turn your brain off.
Yeah. But you don't even have to, because it's like, it's funny, but it's not like a funny, dumb one. It has
That's the great part of it.
Stuff going on for
Yes.
all the main characters that you care about.
It
that
stays
are very
character-based.
deep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The characters
So-
are all good. There's a tiny amount of them. It's very humorous. They know exactly where to hit for the comedy. And the acting is phenomenal. Like, Kevin
It
Smith
really
is
just
really
feels
amazing.
like giving the actors a present. And, like, they have all, like, after the fact, talked about this episode and how much fun it is. And I think this was a meaningful one for them because they really enjoyed it and enjoyed working with each other. And you just see it. That's what the episode is about, actually. Yeah.
A+.
A+.
All right.
A+.
Next week, next to next week. Oh, were you going to say something?
Sorry, I did have one more thought. But
Yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to say that, like, RJ is good at writing comedy. Like, it's like a thing you don't think about for him.
Did he ever
He
do
wrote Warrior Princess Tramp.
Wow.
Oh,
Which
that
is
was
a
very
classic
funny. Yeah.
character-driven comedy. And A Day in the Life.
Well,
Also
that's
good. I mean, that one too is
the best.
Yeah, so I mean, he's done these sorts of episodes. You don't think of him for them, but like when he adjusts his style to comedy, it really works.
Yeah.
And these actors can definitely pull it off.
Too.
You were saying about our
I was
upcoming...
saying too, in the next episode, we'll be halfway through season 6.
Oh, my God.
Wow.
Great. On that note, follow us on all the stuff and
saying.
things, because we're done with this one.
We are on the internet, xenawarriorpodcast.com.
And that covers it.
Oh my God. Yeah, just Google it. xenawarriorpodcast.com has all the links. You can go to Apple Podcasts and you can subscribe and rate and leave reviews. We are on Twitter at xenawarriorpod, Facebook, Instagram, and Tumblr, Xena Warrior Podcast. And we're on Patreon at patreon.com/Xena Warrior Podcast.
The power.
The passion.
The podcast.